I was curious. I know you don't start practice until Monday, but has there been anybody that's maybe stood out to you in terms of progress they've made since the end of fall ball over the break or anything like that?
I would say that there's just a good group of guys, honestly, that have gotten bigger and stronger. As far as hitting the slider, I haven't seen that because we haven't been doing that. But physically, I've seen some guys make a jump, and that's what we hope. Whether it's putting on 10 pounds or just gaining strength or jumping ability, because that always shows athleticism. So, our strength and conditioning program with Hunter Bell is about as good as it gets from what I've seen. It's such a combination of power and strength and versatility and speed. He just does a tremendous job, and we see guys get better.
I was curious if you had any injury update on your team. I'd heard something about Brenton Clark. Could you give an update on him or any other injuries y'all are dealing with?
Yeah, Brenton hurt his shoulder. We're not sure when or how. I know it bothered him a little bit in the summer. It's his throwing arm, and I think he came in here and aggravated it. Could have been through throwing. It could have been, swinging the bat, probably all of above. And he's going to try to get through it, but it kind of got to the point where he couldn't really recover without surgery. We just said, hey, let's get it fixed, and then just get ready for next year. Unfortunately, this was a guy that led our team in on base percentage in the fall, taking walks, you know, just did a tremendous job. Had a great summer out there in California. They loved him. And, disappointed for him really because this is redshirt year, now an injury. But now what he gets to look forward to is just getting healthy and getting ready for the 27 season.
You mentioned he was a guy that was potentially going to be a starter for you out there in the outfield. Who do you look at as needing to step up and be able to be out there, with him out?
Well, Ruiz needs to be a guy that needs to come in and do what we know, excuse me, do what we know he can do, which is swing the bat, get on base, steal bases. Had an okay fall, but I see that from a lot of guys that transfer in. There's a lot going on there. They're a little nervous. You're dealing with your transfer, and sometimes it bothers you a little bit. Maybe there's some guilt in there. But we saw some good days from Damian, but it's time for him to get after and do what we thought, whether he hits leadoff or nine hole. Christian Turner, true freshman, fastest kid on the team, incredible athlete, can hit the ball a long way, can also run him down. There's another left-handed bat. I think it just opens up a little more playing time for him. So we'll be fine.
Matt Barron, go ahead.
Yeah, hey Dave, hope you had a good holiday season. Last year you guys had, 3 to 4 traditional starters. Do you see yourself having that again, and how do you plan on managing this pitching staff this year?
Yeah, we lost all our starters. Once we put Gackle in the bullpen, so really, guys are stepping up. It's time to go. Gackle being one of them. Hopefully Hunter Dietz and Fisher and Gibbler and I mean, I don't know, McGuire. There's guys that can start. So older guys, been around, been in some tough situations. A lot of these guys I'm talking about have pitched out of the pen, come in with games on the line, started a little bit. In Deet's case, he's been injured, recovered, gotten better and better, had a good summer, had a really good fall. And it's his time. That's the way it is at this level. Sometimes you just have to wait your time, whether it's because you have some guys in front of you that are having really good years that have been there and done it, or maybe you're recovering from an injury like Dietz. I think Dietz, if he would have been healthy walking in the door, he'd have been a big time pitcher as a freshman and a sophomore. But, that wasn't in the cards for him. And now he's healthy, confident, and, we'll have some options there.
Which players come to mind that you'll be continuing to test maybe in a new position or maybe a new role in this month before the season starts?
Well, there's always, the shortstop position. You lose a first team all SEC type player, Golden Spikes winner. You don't replace that guy. I wouldn't want to put that on anybody, but We've got a couple guys battling it out at short. One's a freshman, one's a junior. Made the comment yesterday. I don't think since I've been at Arkansas, that I've started a freshman at shortstop. I can't remember. I may be wrong. I know we had a redshirt freshman play a lot or start some, but in the case of Carson Brumbaugh, I mean, he's battling there. And I don't know, if Souza would have stayed healthy and hadn't had the arm issue last year with the injury, I think there would be a possibility of that, but I don't expect that. But that position is still it's still evolving. I guess going to be earned. Whoever plays short will probably play third, is what it's looking like right now. And second base, with Kojal and with Souza, and I don't know. We've got some options. Feel good about that. Then obviously the outfield will be some new guys with Deloy battling and playing right, and I mean there's going to be a fight there. And the DH spot could be someone who platoons, plays right. DH is who's to say, and then center field with Mike Anu looks like, and but we're gonna have new outfielders for the third, fourth year in a row, and we've been okay with it. It's worked out for us.
And then, with practices starting up on Monday, I mean, how often is the end of last season brought up with respect to starting a new one?
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much brought up at the very first meeting in August. What a great year, and appreciate everything everyone did. But you got to turn the page. It's a new team, new chapter, however you want to say it. You got to go. Now they got to do it. This is, they can leave their legacy on this program. And we have 4 or 5 starting position players back, or guys that were in and out of the lineup. We've got pitchers with experience. We've got some really good young freshmen. We've got enough pieces that we can compete day in and day out with teams in our league. Now we just got to get better.
Evan, go ahead.
Yeah, hey coach, happy new year. Curious for you, you kind of mentioned Souza a little bit. What's the update with his injury? Do you guys expect him to be full go kind of in practice over the next couple of weeks for opening day?
He'll be full go in practice, but is his arm ready? I can't tell you that. I would say it's not, just guessing. I've seen a couple videos that he sent me when he was throwing in Hawaii over the break, and seen him play a little catch here. But we're talking game speed and being able to let it go on a backhand, that type of stuff. I can't tell you that he's going to be there. I don't even know if he's 80%. We'll see, but I think he'll be ready sometime during the season. I hope it's the first half. I know that he's probably, in his mind, he thinks he's going to be 100% February 13th. We're going to let that evolve. We'll see how it goes. And, if he's not quite ready to throw like that, we can, maybe we can DH him. We do some other things if he's earned that spot. But, it's hard to answer that question right now.
And you mentioned pitching staff. With Parker coming back as well, what kind of role do you envision him having as we get closer and closer to opening day?
With who? Say that again.
Coyle.
Yeah, Coyle, I mean, he's kind of the wild card for us. We see him as a long reliever. Obviously, we think he can finish games. He had tweaked his arm a little bit last year towards the end of the season, and that's why we didn't pitch him in Omaha, because we were going to get him, and it was bothering him. And I think it carried over a little bit in the fall. We feel like he's 100% healthy now. So we didn't get to see him start. And that's probably the only thing that we really haven't used him, or had him do for us here. And I wouldn't rule that out, but I'd say going into the season right now, just go into whenever we have him go in and get the job done, and we'll let that evolve a little bit. But it's nice having a veteran back like that with all that experience, that, it doesn't really matter what the situation is. It's not going to bother him too much.
And with Ryder behind the plate, what do you expect in 2026 for him? What kind of jump?
Just wanted to keep doing what he's doing, and that's lead by example. I mean, he's obviously, you've seen the bat get better and better since he walked in the door to now, one of our best hitters, one of the best catchers in the country, even though Perfect Game forgot about him when they put the catchers out the other day. But, this is the way I look at it. You got time to change some people's minds, so to speak. And great leader, really good pitch caller, thrower, catcher, great teammate. What more could you want? Yep.
Matt Jones, go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Dave. Hey, the extra 2 weeks that you have of preseason, how does that help your team?
Number one, it really helps the pitchers. And I think this is what started all this a few years back when, we being coaches complaining a little bit about, we have 21 days with the team and then we're throwing the first pitch. So realistically, they're getting about 3 outings, maybe 4 before we open the season, and we're supposed to go out and kids aren't going to get hurt. Well, they're going to get hurt every now and then. It's a way, but we felt like if we had another couple of weeks with them, it would give us an opportunity to coach them, be around them, and get them trained up a little bit and keep an eye on them where we feel like it could, take away from some of the early season injuries, and some of those turn into season ending injuries. So that's one part of it. Then obviously just playing baseball and being able to be around the whole group for an extra 2 weeks instead of doing what we call skill instruction, group work, whatever you want to call it. We can play baseball.
You mentioned pitchers, but like from a position standpoint, are there like what are some of the areas that you can maybe enhance the team with 32 days instead of 21?
Obviously, seeing live at bats or seeing live pitching, live at bats. You just think that it's, baseball is such a game of repetition, and the more these guys can hit a 83-mile-an-hour slider, at least see one, gives them a better chance to hit it when the real season opens up. And but just having the at bats and playing the game, get the position players more in baseball shape, stopping and starting and stealing and sliding. I mean, just catching the ball outside, fly balls outside. Hopefully we'll continue to have some decent weather. I know the future, a couple of weeks down, doesn't look great, but it's probably a little more normal than what we're having the last couple of weeks. Just playing the game again. I think it's going to make the game better for everybody in the country, when the season starts.
And then, in a lot of sports, coaches are closing down practices. They don't want fans there. You've always been different. You want them open. You want people in the stands. What's behind that philosophy?
Hey, I don't think that, baseball, we're trying to keep any secrets from anybody, especially with all that's out there right now with social media and things. I mean, I think it's good that the fans come in and watch us scrimmage. Kids know that there's people in the stands playing in front of, even if it's a couple hundred people, get a little bit of a feel, or it's not just the coaches watch. It's not doesn't need to be that way, in my opinion. Everybody can have their own philosophy, but I think we have a really good relationship with our fans. Our fans are the best. You can say what you want to say. There's some really good fan bases, and ours is one of them. If they want to come out here and watch us scrimmage or practice, and they see us not practice very well, and they go put that out there, it's not going to bother me. What we're trying to do is get ready for the games. And, this year we don't get an opening weekend at home where we can kind of get some of the kinks out. We get to open up with some really good teams, as they do, having to play us and other teams. So it's the extra 2 weeks should help there. But I don't know. I guess just to answer your question, I just think that's the way we feel about it. We want our fans to have access to the players and the team for all the practices.
Okay. Thank you.
Jackson, go ahead.
Good to see you, Dave.
Hey.
You talked a little bit about Carson already, but you hinted at the end of fall you might not give him the full go of being a two-way guy. Have you made any decision there yet, or are you going to maybe try and let him pitch this year?
Well, the beginning of the season, we're not going to try to stress him out doing both. I mean, he's a young player at a primo position, so to speak, very demanding position. A lot of throws are being made there, turning double plays, relay throws, just regular ground balls, double play balls. I mean, there's a lot on the arm there. Got to take care of him. Want him healthy the whole season. Now, maybe when it warms up a little bit, guys are rolling along. If we feel like that he might be able to help us finish a game or pitch an inning or get an out here or there, because he obviously has the talent to do that. And if he wants to do that, because he has to feel good about it too for it to work. Then we might look at that. Then you're talking about a guy like Cornelison, who's also a two-way guy. He's definitely pitching right out of the blocks. He looked great in his, at the end of the year. He's been throwing the ball in his bullpens around here with some of our kids when they're just here working out. We've heard good things, and I think he's made a jump with the velocity, and he showed that against, I think, DBU on that Saturday, or maybe it was Little Rock. I don't remember, but it was really, really impressive. So, he's definitely going to be a two-way guy. But with Carson, I feel like, with that more of an opportunity to start right out of the chute, we're just going to take it easy with him as far as pitching.
You think, is it safe to say, like, if Kuhio can play right field, that just kind of unlocks and, lets you slide another guy to DH and everything? I mean, how big of a development would that be if he can, play in the outfield, even if it's not every day, at least be a platoon guy out there?
Yeah, well, he can play out there. He's good enough to play out there. He's made a big jump, and unfortunately, he had some mono at the end of summer. He came in, and then he got sick, and and honestly, now he's getting over the flu. I mean, the poor kid's been punched 3 or 4 times since the season ended last year, and hopefully he's done with all that stuff, and we can get him healthy. He hasn't been around the building for a little while because of that. He's back, obviously, but now he's going to play some outfield, whether he plays every day or 50%. It's up to him. But I think as far as the DH spot, if he's playing outfield, it could be the same situation where maybe it's an outfielder that's DHing. So time will tell whoever gets that spot. Like I said, if Sousa's not ready to throw yet, maybe he starts the season at DH. But then again, he's got to go swing the bat. And he hadn't swung it all fall due to the injury. It might take a little bit of time there, but us, we're going to play the guys that deserve to play, and they know if they deserve to play. And yeah, we'll just let that evolve.
Last year, right from the jump, you really praised the mental makeup of the team. Are there similarities? I know there's a good amount of returnees, but even with the new guys, similarities or ways that you can already sense maybe this team's a little different?
I think a little bit of last year's team carried over into this team's personality. As far as the closeness of the team, it's really good to see when you get a lot of new freshmen in and a few transfer kids, and they just blend in with your team. And just kind of the way we run it around here, I think they appreciate it. And we treat our kids with a lot of respect, and they got to earn that through hard work and dedication and the way they act away from the field. But at the same time, we kind of got to earn their respect as well, by working with them and backing up what we've told them when we recruit them. And I think the returning players talk to the new guys about that and say, yeah, that's the way it is. And I don't know, we just we have a good feeling about the way the team feels about each other from what we've seen so far. Now, that usually develops during the season, and you see teams getting closer and closer when you start winning those tight games, and other guys that maybe aren't your superstar type players are helping the team win. And you see those, guys that play every day pulling for the other guys, and you can just see the camaraderie get better and better. And that's when the team really starts to bond. So you kind of got to get out there in the trenches to do that a little bit. So, but I feel really good right now where we're at as a team and how they feel about each other. And hopefully it continues to get better.
Last one from me. What kind of roles do you envision for DeCremmer and Kircher?
Right now, from what I saw in the fall, both going to pitch, and they're just going to, guys that we feel like we can bring in at least the beginning of the season, and their role could evolve where they can come in some really tight spots and get through it. They both have really good arms, good stuff, some good, some better than others. So when you're talking about secondary stuff, electric fastball, a little bit of an attitude that you like to see out there. And, everybody wants to start. And I don't want to say anybody can't start because it evolves, I mean, I think about McIntyre and his career here is amazing. Goes from not getting to pitch at all. We give him the ball on a Tuesday night because we're having trouble on Tuesday nights. And, you look down the road 2 months later, he's starting in a super regional at North Carolina. And so it's like anything else. If you get the ball, go show what you can do. And we all see it. And we're trying to win. So if you're our best option, we're going with it.
Kevin, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, good to see you.
Thank you.
Couple of things. This is the schedule going to be kind of like it was in the fall with the half scrimmages, things like that, considering the roster size?
So what we're going to do is, example, this coming weekend, not this weekend, the next weekend, when we open on Friday, we'll scrimmage about 7 innings, and we'll scrimmage again on Saturday. We're just going to play a little longer games. The first maybe weekend or 2 weekends, probably the first 2, we're going to go 2 scrimmages instead of 3. And then we start getting the pitch counts up there a little bit. Then we'll push some guys to the 3rd day. And I just tried to ramp up more guys than normal. And what we mean by that is instead of trying to get maybe 4 guys to the point where they could throw like 60, 70 pitches if they were a starter opening weekend, maybe we can get 7 or 8 guys. Really, when you look at our first weekend, we're playing 4 days in a row. And I think most of you know we're staying and playing another game on Monday, I think against Tarleton State, I think at 2:00 in Arlington. So we're going to go 4 days in a row. So we're figuring we need to get 8 guys built up pretty good. And, whether, guys are going to come in second, maybe they can go long and in those 4 games. So that's kind of our plan. And then week 3 and 4, we'll maybe stretch that to 3 scrimmages.
Good deal. You mentioned Carson at shortstop. Is TJ Pompey the other one? Okay. And Still Eats came on at the end of the last year. Is he still projected progressing towards the back end in the closer role?
Steel Eaves has been really good. And all he does is work as hard as anybody that we have or harder. And he got some attitude. When we got him, he was fastball, I don't know, 90, 92 with some sink. You never know exactly what you're getting as far as the personality or makeup. I mean, you have an idea, but once you're around him, you can tell who's scared and who's not and who's ready and who's not. And he showed us last year that he was ready. It took us a while to put him out there. Once we did, we're like, hey, if we get beat at the end of the game because he gave up a run, I can live with it because I love the guy. That's the way I feel about it. I can sleep good when you do that. It's when you put somebody out there that maybe you're not ready to trust yet for one reason or another, and it doesn't go good. You just shake your head and say, why'd I do that? But with Steele, I believe in him. I think the players believe in him. He could close games for us. The thing about Steele is he can pitch 3 days in a row. Yeah. He could go 2 on Friday, 1 or 2 or probably 1 on Saturday and get you out on Sunday. And he wants to. We could let him go a little bit longer and just use him one time if we needed him to go 4 or 5. And but now, kind of speaking early, what I was saying earlier about him is velocity is just starting to hold like 93, 96. And that's a big jump. And that's strength and work and maturity. And I think you're going to see him out there a lot, and excited to see him get on the mound for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Dudley, go ahead.
Coach, you talked about going down to Arlington and not having that first weekend at home, but having those 4 games down there, how does that help maybe some of the freshmen and some of the transfers that hadn't played in as big of situations kind of get used to life in big-time college baseball?
I think it's great for those guys. Really good for everybody. I mean, all the teams are in the same situation. They're not 100% sure how it's going to go. I mean, we could go down there and go 2-2 and be disappointed, but we got a lot better. You could win them all and it doesn't go good for you. Baseball's a funny game. I want to get better. I want to win as many as we can. Obviously, we're going to probably pitch about everybody we have when you're talking, 4 9 inning ball games, and who knows, one could go a little longer. We've had some extra inning ones down there. So, but the experience you gain, I think it's so valuable for what's going to come down the road. I mean, our opening conference series is Mississippi State here in Fayetteville, and they're absolutely loaded. I mean, they had what they had coming back. New coach brought a bunch of players from Virginia, and they got some dudes out of the portal. I thought they would be ranked. They probably will be ranked in the top 5 in about every poll. So, yeah, that's going to be a big weekend for us to make a jump mentally, I feel like.
One other thing that I've seen some people look at the schedule and say Tennessee and Texas are not on it. Man, it's an easier schedule this year. I don't think you probably think that, do you?
I don't think that at all. I mean, I think in the last who knows how many years against Tennessee, we went like 13-2 against them or something. Texas, we've done pretty well against Texas as well. We play some of the teams that we haven't done as well, even though they may not be that every year powerhouse like some of those teams you mentioned. It's the SEC. It's a lot more level playing field. I don't know. I wouldn't look into it too far. Hopefully, we'll see those guys down the road in a SEC tournament or in Super Regional, and we'll see how it turns out. Now, maybe for just the beauty of the matchup, so to speak, or it might not be as pretty as some. It's they're all big games and teams are all good.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, Phil, final word.
Hey, Dave, there's a couple of players I wanted to ask about, and I'll just ask about them one at a time. There's been a starting pitcher each of the last 2 seasons that's made a big jump that the year before kind of shuffled between starting and relief, whether it's been Gage Wood or Hagen Smith. And I know with Gackle last year, that was the case, and he was so good as a reliever. Uh, what does he need in order to make that jump? Maybe not necessarily the same kind of jump that you saw from those 2 guys, but at least to stay in the rotation for this next season. And how important is that for this team?
Well, first off, it'd be huge if he could solidify himself as a weekend starter, whether it's Friday or Saturday or whatever. I mean, you think about his career here. I mean, I think his first outing here, we brought him in with the bases loaded in a tie game against Oklahoma State, something like that in Arlington, and he got out of it, and pretty amazing. And then, started last year, had some great innings, but would have an inning where his pitch count would get up, and it's usually 1 or 2. It was usually the first or the second inning, and we'd have to get him. And I think if he just trusts his stuff and just attacks hitters, and he'll be fine. And it would be big for our team mentally that we knew that, he was a guy that we all know he is. His stuff is brilliant, honestly. And yeah, I'd say that's the guy. And no more bullpen. I mean, let's go. It's your time. That's the way I feel about it.
The other I wanted to ask about is Reese Robinette, because I don't remember the last season where you kind of felt like you knew who the first baseman was going to be. Sometimes you've moved an infielder from the middle of the infield over to first base because he can hit, but Reese kind of took that job at the back of last season. What did he do to improve so much? And specifically, how did he get his bat speed to where just wasn't getting jammed like he was previously?
Right. Well, you look back at all the sequence there, Souza goes down. Souza's just starting to really hit. He just doubled off the left center field wall. He's on second base. I think we're down a run or two, whatever. He'd gotten a couple other hits in the game and lined out the day before a few times. I mean, he's swinging it. He gets hurt. So we moved Cam back to second, and, Reese got his shot. He's the everyday guy, and all he did was get on base and play great defense. But what he did before that is he kept working it. He didn't pout. He kept doing what you hope he would do. He played like a professional. He practiced like a professional every day, and he got ready. And when his chance came, he was ready. And, down the stretch, his on-base percentage was amazing. He got a bunch of clutch hits for us. Defense was outstanding. He's a great target over there, can really pick the ball out of the dirt. And I think he gained a lot of confidence. But, to answer your question about the bat speed, I think maybe with just more playing time and confidence and the way he worked, I think it all came together and he deserved what he got. And now this year comes in here, he's the guy to beat out at first, and nobody did it. He's our starting first baseman. I think that's such a good feeling for him. And the players are all happy for him. He's that guy that they all pull for because they see how he works when he wasn't playing and he wasn't complaining and he wasn't talking in the locker room. And I'm happy for him. I want him to have a great season, whether he hits 15 home runs or he hits 5. Just be a good defender and hit for an average, drive in some runs. And that's what he did for us that last 25% of the season.
There is one last thing I wanted to ask about, and it's just about the state of college baseball. And there's so many conversations about the other sports in college, and it seems, like the sports world is about to blow up. Everything's wrong with college football. We can point to things about college basketball too. I don't know if I hear that kind of sentiment about college baseball. It feels more like this is a golden age for the sport, even with the shrinking of rosters and the transient rosters and all of that. Is that fair to say? College baseball does feel like it's in just a really good place, even comparatively to some of the other sports.
Well, I would say this for the fans, they're getting to see some of the best college teams that have ever been put on the field for a few reasons. But number one, there's some really, really good players that are coming to school because now they know they're not going to leave college owing $75,000 to $100,000 in loans, because that's what was going on when we had 11.7, or we have to try to talk kids into turning down $500,000 to come to school and have to pay money. It's kind of hard now with NIL and a little bit of rev share money. At least kids aren't going to leave here owing money, and maybe they're going to save a little bit of money. Maybe they'll save a lot. Depends on where you're at, honestly. But yeah, the teams and the talent on the field, I think it's an all-time high. You called it maybe the golden years of college baseball. I think talent-wise, I would agree with you. But I'll tell you this: the players are still good. What I mean by that, they're good people. There's a lot of things that are going on outside, whether it's people talking in their ear about maybe moving to another program, or we can get you this if you'll go there. The ones that can stay focused on the task at hand and play hard and really look at the big picture of the draft, and that's where you're going to make your money. Go to the school where you can develop, and where the coaches are all about development, and we feel like we are. I think our track record shows that. The money's coming. Obviously, you got to help them out a little bit, but kids are good. The kids are still the kids they've been for the last 40 years since I've been hanging around college baseball. It's fun being around them. I really like being around the guys. And the fun part for me is on the field. When some coaches are stressed out during games, I like the games. I like practice. I like throwing batting practice. I like being out there around and watching them get better and helping them. All the other stuff, it's part of the job now. I think if you want to have a really good program, you got to have some guys, some assistant coaches, and some guys that are helping you through video work and analytics to help you break down some things and manage some of that. And I feel like we've got a really good mix here with our staff. I think our staff is as good as any in the country when it comes to everything. So I guess to answer your question, it is the golden age of college baseball because of the talent on the field. I mean, even the mid majors, they have older kids and they're very good. You could walk into Tuesday and Wednesday and feel like if you played pretty good, you're going to win. Now you have to play really good because you're facing a lot of 22 and 23-year-olds that they're not intimidated anymore. They're just maybe not playing in the Southeastern Conference.